What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be doing part 3 of our Spigot Coding for Beginners series. This one's going to be talking more in depth about listeners and what you can actually do with listeners, like all types of events and all that stuff. I plan to do one more episode about this one, and then we'll get right back into the normal other stuff about Spigot, so we'll stop focusing a little more on listeners and a little more on some other techniques. A couple things before we go into it, I'd like to say I'm working on my mic configs, and I'm sorry about the last video. After watching it, I realized it seemed very choppy and some things were not explained well, so from here on out I'm going to be taking extra special time redoing recordings and all that to make sure I actually convey the message and actually help you guys learn more than I just, upload the video, because it's not about uploading the video, it's about actually teaching the people at home what's actually happening. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So today's video, I got a special one for you. As you can see, we have an assortment of blocks here, and that sheep is being annoying. As you can see, we have an assortment of blocks here, and if I break one, you see in chat a little message pop up. An iron sword has dropped nearby, and then if you come up here, there's an iron sword right here for your use. And if I break a gold one, it's the same thing in chat with the gold. A gold sword has been dropped nearby, and you get a gold sword. If I break the diamond one, I get a diamond sword, and it says it's been dropped nearby with all different chat colors, of course. And if I break the netherite one, it drops in a black chat color, and it says you have a netherite sword has been dropped nearby. And there's a netherite sword. So yeah, you can just break all these all you want. It doesn't like stop or filter out or something like that. It's a lot of swords. But yeah, we're gonna get right to the coding with this. It's actually pretty simple, believe it or not. I just wanted to teach the method of how you make sure it's a certain block. Like you see, if I break any grass block or anything right now, nothing happens, like nothing drops. So I will be showing you how to do all that in 1 second. Okay, so we're here in the code, and so far we have just this TNT thing, which I've actually disabled for now. But what we're gonna do is just, for now, we're just gonna, if you wanna save it, you can, go paste this code somewhere else. But I'm just gonna delete it for now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the same thing at EventHandler, public void onBlockBreak, like so, and then curly brackets at the end, and then we do block break, or like this, break event like so. And now that we have our block break event kind of set up and everything is kind of working with it, we can start getting into the actual code with it.
Want me to send a link to your phone to set up your calendar?
Alexa, stop. Sorry about that, my Alexa just went off. Now it's gonna go off again. Alexa, stop. My thing just went off. Sorry about that. Anyway, back to the code. Pretty much what we're gonna do here is we have to detect what block is actually being broken. Like, we have to make sure it's a certain type of block. So real quick, we're gonna make a player variable. Equals e.getPlayer, like that. Just make the player variable real quick, and then we're gonna get into the actual code itself. So the first thing we're gonna do is if e.getBlock, that's going to get the block that was broken, and then we're gonna get the type. So getType gets the type of block. So if I broke a grass block, it would return with a grass block. So then we're going to check if that type, the two equals marks, we're going to check if that type equals, like that. Why is it doing that? We're going to check if this block equals material dot, and then any material. So the material we want to detect first is going to be the iron block. So this whole line right here, essentially, let's go through it real quick. It gets the block that was broken, and it gets the type that was broken, and it checks if the type of that block equals the type of an iron block. And if it does, we can execute our iron block code. So let's go put the iron block code in real quick. So the method for dropping something nearby is pretty simple. So we're going to do player.getWorld to get the world they're in, and getting world gives you a bunch of methods, as you can see right here. Like, it's a bunch of methods that can edit the world, but we're going to go for the dropItemNaturally one right there, and it's going to require 2 parameters: the item we want to drop and the location we want to drop it at. Okay, so we want to drop it at the location of the block. However, last episode, so let's do that, e.getBlock org.bukkit.location. Last episode we found out that the location of the block is actually inside of the block, and we want to drop above the block to make sure things don't run into any problems. So the logical line of code we're going to have to do after that is .add 0, change that to 0, change this to 1, and change this to 0, like so. And then all it's asking for now is the material we want to use. So I'm going to choose the material of an iron sword because it's an iron block that we're using. So type in material dot iron underscore sword. And then we can close that off. So as you can see, what happens is actually what we need to do for the second parameter, we need to do new item stack brackets, and then inside this we do material dot iron sword, like so. And then we go ahead and import item stack, and then that works absolutely perfectly. So the reason it can't require material because a material specifies a type of block most times. So if you just have a material, it usually specifies a type of block. But when you have an item that you want to drop, it's called an item stack. So every time you want to drop an item, you have to do new item stack, because you have to import the item stack object, and then inside the parameters, then you give it a material. So it converts that material over into an item that you can, play around with, fiddle around with, anything. So now that we have that done, and just a quick reminder, materials have to be capitalized here. So like the material iron sword has to be capitals, and spaces are used with this. Just a little tip for, future reference. So now that we've dropped the item, as you can see in the plugin before, we actually dropped we actually sent a message. So we're gonna do player, we're gonna get the player that broke the block, obviously, and then we're gonna send them a message of ChatColor, and I'm gonna use ChatColor.GRAY. Where is it? Gray, because the gray chat color is gray like an iron sword. It just matches up to the whole iron theme and all that. But that's just what I like personally. You can make it any color you want. But personally, I like doing it that way. So what we can do now is we can just type in the parameters. We can just type in a iron sword has been dropped nearby, like that, and that'll work perfectly. So if we go in only when we break an iron block, it will work. So now we need to link up all the other 4 types of items, and we can do it essentially like so. So what we're going to do at the end of this statement is else if brackets, and then inside the brackets we're going to copy this line of code. I'm going to write it out, but you can copy it, except, give me a second, got to go inside the brackets, sorry about that. So we're going to copy that line of code, e.getBlock.getType, like so, equals, and then now we are going to check if it equals material dot gold block, like so. And then we're just going to bracket that down and pop down. So now we can run the code for the gold block. So I'll do this one more time with you guys, and then we can copy and paste. So this will just be player.getWorld dot dropItemNaturally, and then we'll do e.getBlock.getLocation.add, and we'll to add our arguments of 1, just so it pops up pops up to the y value 1 more, so it's above the block and not below the block. We know the deal. And then just new item stack, material dot, and then this one's going to be the golden sword, like so. And again, guys, if you guys ever need to look up something, what is going on here? Oh, I am very silly. I am a very silly boy. That's not where we had to do it. Anyway, if you guys ever need to look up what like materials there are, you can go ahead, the link's down in the description, and I'll put it on the screen probably. Go into the Spigot API. I highly advise looking a bunch of stuff up with the Spigot API, because that is going to be your key to victory here. You can look up all different types of methods and all that, so you can find out more things that you can actually drop. You can drop every item in the game, but you just need to find out the like code for it. Anyway, what comes to my attention every time, this happens way too often. This ChatColor gets imported every single time, and you don't want that. So I'm just going to type out the line of code you do want. You can obviously just go ahead, hover over this, and then import the ChatColor from Bukkit, but I'm going to type this one out this time. So it's import org.bukkit.ChatColor, and that's it. That imports the Bukkit ChatColor. So now all we got to do is do the player.sendMessage, ChatColor.gold plus the string we want, and we want it to say a golden sword has been dropped. I don't know why it's doing that. Nearby. There we go. Golden sword has been dropped nearby. So that's all fun and dandy now. So we can just go ahead and copy this line of code down, because you know who actually wants to do this a billion times over. So at the end of this part right here, at the end of this statement, we went to else if, just to make sure we can check it again, and we can. I think that will work. Yep. So we want to make sure this is the material of a diamond block. So let's go here, change this to diamond block right there, and change this to diamond sword, and then a diamond sword, and then change this to ChatColor.aqua, because you know diamond swords are aqua a little bit. And then we want to go down right here, do the same exact thing, put a bracket at the end of it, and then do netherite block right there. And we go ahead, change this to netherite sword. So I'm going to actually try, just real quick guys, we're going to try to shorten these videos down to around like 12 or 15 minutes, anywhere between then. And we're coming up on the 13-minute mark, at least for me recording right now. So I probably will do the other half of this in the next video, where we'll go over some more methods. But I think we'll be fine for now if we just cover this stuff, because this is a pretty jam-packed lesson, shall we say, and I don't want to, you know, make it super annoying for y'all to watch like 20 billion minute videos. So we're just gonna do it like this. We're gonna change this to netherite sword. This is ChatColor.black, and then we want to go ahead and export this onto the server. So this is all done, I am pretty sure, and we can go ahead and export this and hop on the server. So let me go boot the server back up again, because I closed it. That's where we can power. Oh yeah, you might want to delete these. It's gonna cry at you because we haven't actually used those. But it doesn't really matter what you import, because if it doesn't use the import, it just has to use the import. It's not gonna throw a fit about it. So I'm gonna load up the server, and I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, so the server is back up, and we are going to be logging into it right now. As you can see, joining the world. It's gonna be a little laggy at the start. Oh, maybe not. Okay, so if we get our blocks out, gold, diamond, netherite, and then iron, and we place these bad boys down like so. Like so. You can see that when we do this, iron swords pop down, fly from the sky, all the chat colors in the chat, and we get all of our swords right here. I'm gonna go over one more quick method with you guys, just so I can show you how things work. Two more quick methods. We're gonna make this video a little longer, so don't look at that error. Real quick, we can actually do some with the chat color. So I'm gonna show you real quick what this actually is. So there's another way to do chat colors, and you can do chat color, or like this, go inside this, ChatColor.translate alternate color codes. Then you want to hit this symbol on your keyboard, the 2 little commas, and then you want to put in any symbol you want. And I use the and symbol. That's the symbol that's going to be used. That's going to be used to translate the color codes. Because as you know, in Minecraft there are actual like certain codes for strings. So all you gotta do now is just put a string in here, and then you can do this symbol, same symbol you put here. And now I'm just gonna do C because I'm pretty sure that's red. I don't know which one's black. I could look it up, but I'm just gonna do C. And then a netherite sword has been dropped nearby. And trust me guys, I know the video is getting quite long, but they're gonna shorten down as we get into the stuff where I don't have to explain as much anymore and we're actually just coding it. I don't really need to explain like every little detail. Right now it's more about the learning, not the actual content. So if we do that real quick, then I'll show you one more method after this, which is, it's a pretty good method. I like it. It's fun. A lot of servers use it. If I export this and then rl confirm on the server, if I go ahead and break a netherite block, right? If I go ahead and break that, see, at C is red. So pretty much what it does is there's a color code, and this followed by the code, which is C. There's a bunch of codes. You can look it up. I'll put a link into the description of all the color codes for Minecraft, maybe an image or something up on the screen. But yeah, they have a bunch of color codes, and if you just follow that by a string, or just whatever you want to type, it will convert everything after that into a color-coded format. Anyway, the final method I'm going to do, we'll just do it on the netherite. Real quick, we can do player.play.Sound. Okay, and this is going to play a sound. So once the location, we're going to play the sound at player.getLocation. We don't need to add anything to location because it's going to play like, you know, getLocation. It wants a sound, so we do sound dot, and then I'm gonna do Enderman because these are ones that are used commonly. Enderman teleport, and then it wants a pitch or a volume level. I can do 2 because it's bigger, and then a pitch will be 1.5, and if you do pitch 1.5, you have to cast this to float because it has decimal points in it and the code. And this is passing an int, so you need to tell the code that this is a float. Or wait, no, you're passing it a double, and you need to tell the code that it's a float because, you know, it doesn't like decimals in the wrong places. So if you do that, real quick, let me do this, export onto the server, like so, override it, rl confirm, into the server. Let me turn my volume back up for you guys. So when I break this, you hear the little Enderman in the background. And you can change the pitch to make it all different types of things. I personally have my volume kind of low right now, but it's still noticeable. You can play a bunch of sounds. Like, this is where the Spigot API really comes in handy, because when I say there's a bunch of sounds, I kid you not, there is so many sounds. Some of them don't even work. I really do not even know. But some of them don't even work. I like to fiddle around with them when I get the time to. Anyways, guys, that's going to be all for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. I'm putting a lot of effort into these videos, and you know, consider subscribing if you like my tutorials. If you don't like my tutorials, you know, don't have to subscribe. I want to wait until you know, actually want to subscribe. I'm not going to force you to. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Oh, and I forgot to mention, all of the code for today's video will be in the description if you want it. I'm going to start doing that for every day's video. The more and more our code gets longer, and you might just want to copy and paste and just observe it that way. But I do recommend actually learning how the code works before you copy and paste it. Anyway, that's final. See you guys.